Welcome to jury duty. Jury duty is one of the most serious duties that members of a free society are asked to perform. Our system of self-government could not exist without it. The right to a jury trial is an ancient tradition, a part of our heritage. It is enshrined in the United States Constitution and guaranteed by every state's laws. Because in our society, the government is in the hands of the people, the parties in our judicial system have a right to a trial, not by one judge, but by a jury of impartial people. As you sit in the jury box, you are figuratively wearing a black robe. You will decide the disputed issues at trial. You will judge the evidence and credibility of witnesses. Like any good judge, you must be free as humanly possible from bias, prejudice, or sympathy for either side. You must call upon your better instincts and judge the case fairly and impartially, keeping an open mind until you have heard all of the evidence. Our system is indeed a remarkable one. Strangers without special skill or training in the law are asked to listen to the evidence, apply the law that the judge tells you to apply, and arrive at a fair and just verdict. Our jury system only works if we have jurors who take their task seriously, listen carefully, and discuss the evidence together respectfully, and return a considered judgment. Our system has been successful for hundreds of years. Thank you for your participation.
The success of our system of justice requires that litigants be able to rely upon a fair and impartial jury made up of a cross-section of the citizens of their community. In Michigan, and in most jurisdictions, this is accomplished by creating a pool of eligible citizens, then randomly selecting a number of these citizens to be summoned to the courthouse to serve as jurors. Whether you're chosen to sit and hear a case or not, your mere presence as a juror ensures fair and equal treatment for all who come before the court.
To be eligible to serve, a prospective juror must be a citizen of the United States, be at least 18 years of age, be a resident of the county selected to serve in, be able to communicate in the English language, be physically and mentally able to serve, have not served on a jury in the past 12 months, and not have been convicted of a felony. Those persons over 70 years of age may ask to be excused from service. Michigan law requires that jurors be selected from a list that combines the driver's license list and the personal identification card holder list of names. Once a pool of eligible citizens is identified, a computer program is utilized to randomly select those citizens who will be asked to report for jury service. Good morning. Good morning. See your summons and your ID, please. Thank you. Once you arrive at the courthouse, you will first report to the jury assembly room, where you will be checked in by an employee of the court called a jury clerk. See your ID, please. When you report, please bring with you a form of picture ID and your summons. Dress should be business appropriate attire, but comfortable.
Good morning and welcome to jury service. A couple of things to remind you of this morning. First of all, please make sure all pagers, beepers, and cell phones are...
While this is happening, the parties, attorneys, and court staff are preparing for the trial. In some cases, you will experience a delay between when you report to the courthouse and when you are taken into the courtroom. This is the time when many last-minute matters are resolved that set the parameters for the trial.
In addition to your presence ensuring a fair trial for the parties, it also encourages the parties to settle their dispute short of trial. Be assured that while you wait to be brought to the courtroom, your service as jurors is already making an impact.
The term voir dire, meaning literally to speak the truth, is the phase of a trial where jurors are chosen one at a time to be seated in the jury box and examined by the judge and attorneys. The purpose of this examination is to allow the parties to pick those persons they wish to judge their case. Some jurors may be excused for a specific reason, such as knowing a party to the case, and other jurors may be excused with no reason given. This is a strategy used by the parties to obtain a jury of those persons they feel possess the life experiences to best weigh the evidence. Voir dire is designed with the singular purpose of allowing the parties to choose, together, those citizens that they feel would impartially hear the case.
Once the parties in the court are ready, the jurors will be brought to the courtroom for voir dire examination. This process allows the judge and the parties through counsel to ask questions of each juror to determine if they have any particular knowledge of the case or parties or have any predisposition to weigh the facts in one light or another.
Lucy Anderson.
Good morning, Ms. Anderson. If you'll come up and have a seat in the first row, please.
Jurors are either accepted by both parties or objected to.
I see from the questionnaire that the 1982 accident ended in without going to trial. How did that end?
Objections can be for cause or for no apparent reason whatsoever, which are termed peremptory challenges. The judge must rule on a challenge for cause. However, each party is provided a fixed number of peremptory challenges.
Yes, the defendant would like to thank and excuse Ms. Robinson.
Voir dire examination is a strategic part of the case where each side seeks to impanel those jurors they believe will weigh the evidence most fairly. And while each side is provided peremptory challenges, no juror will be subjected to discrimination during voir dire based upon race, color, religion, national origin, or sex.
That unless you are discharged by the court from further deliberation, you will render a true verdict and you will render...
At the conclusion of voir dire, the jury panel is set and the oath of jurors will be administered by the court clerk.
So help you God.
I do.
You may be seated.
The jury trial is the hallmark of our system of justice. While the judge, attorneys, and witnesses play vital roles, at its core, justice in this country is decided by a group of peers, deciding cases between members of the community. It both restricts the involvement of the government into the resolution of disputes and ensures that justice remains in the hands of the citizens. Other than military service, there may be no greater duty that a citizen of this country may be called upon to perform than service on a jury.
We now begin the trial with the opening statement of the plaintiff, Mr. Brown.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you in advance for your time and your thought and consideration you're going to put into this matter. My client...
During the trial, it is important that you follow the judge's instructions. Remaining in designated areas during breaks, the taking of notes during the proceedings, and refraining from discussing the case until its conclusion are all stressed to ensure that both sides to the dispute are given fair consideration.
Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
The judge will provide all the information that you will need.
I object, Your Honor. This question calls for hearsay.
At the conclusion of the trial, you will be given specific instructions on the law as it applies to the case, and to which you will apply the facts that you have heard.
From time to time, it has been my duty as judge to rule on the admissibility of evidence. You must not concern yourselves with the reasons for these rulings, and you must not consider any exhibit to which an objection was sustained.
Jury deliberation is that part of the trial when the decision-making process is given to the jury. You've heard the evidence presented during the trial, and the judge has instructed you on the law you are to apply. Resolution of the case is now in your hands. Take care to listen to all your fellow jurors before making any decisions. The blending of perceptions and life experiences of all jurors gives deliberation that unique quality that guarantees justice. You should therefore be open to the ideas and comments from your fellow jurors as your deliberations proceed.
No, the judge said that the first thing we need to do is elect a foreperson. Is there anyone who would like to do that?
Following the conclusion of the trial, you will be led to the jury room and sequestered for deliberations. At this time, your movements will be restricted. Your first order of business will be to elect a foreperson.
I think there was something obstructing his view right here.
This individual will facilitate discussion and may ultimately be responsible for reading the verdict in the courtroom. During deliberations, you may have questions for the judge regarding the law or wish to review evidence or testimony from the trial. Such requests must be in writing and will be delivered to the judge by the bailiff. This information can be used to help you reach a decision.
Okay, looks like it's unanimous.
The British juror Patrick Devlin wrote, "No tyrant could afford to leave a subject's freedom in the hands of 12 of his countrymen. So the trial by jury is more than an instrument of justice and more than one wheel of the Constitution. It is the lamp that shows that freedom lives." The lamp shines brightly today in this community because of you. Over the years, I continued to be impressed by the caliber and dedication of our jurors. Simply put, the jury system is a good system because we have good people willing to give of their time, work diligently, and address the difficult issues before them. Thank you for keeping freedom's light shining.